What's up, y'all? Just signing back with some more information for today. Peace to the ones that are doing the work on themselves and that are trying to raise the frequency on the planet uh, at this time that we are on right now, at this moment. Today, I wanted to talk over some things about the love of self, right? Most of us as people or as a community or a unit, we don't have self-love, right? We tell people that we love them, but we don't have love for ourselves, right? The reason why we do that is because we feel that if we say we love someone else and they love us back, then that's love. But that's not love, because you need someone else to love you in order to feel loved. You have to love yourself, right? Because when you love yourself, you're not going to need other people to love you or like you or accept you for how you are, because you already accepted yourself, right? And this is why you know that there is a lot of trauma that has been involved in our community by the way we communicate with each other on that type of psychological level. Since I've grown up, I've always heard people say they love other people, but they never loved themselves. They didn't do things that was was self-loving, right? They never did things that was for the betterment of themselves. They just did things just to do them that was harming themselves, causing damage to themselves, right? And this is because they didn't have any real self-love for themselves. And we come to this point to where we don't love ourselves, like I say, because of all the trauma that we have went through in our lives, right? So the biggest point of it and the biggest thing about the trauma is that it's all the energy that has stayed with you through your different cycles in life, is where we are right now. But it's up to you to reverse the energy. Reverse it. Instead of staying in that energy and allowing that energy to take control of your everyday life, you have to reverse it. Turn the negative into a positive. Once you turn the negative into a positive, the positive is going to overthrow the negative. Right? Because now that you have accepted what you have went through, right, now it doesn't have a effect on your life no more. Because you have accepted it. Hey, it happened. I moved on. Right? So once you embrace the positive energy that's in you, the positive, the highest self of realization, this is when you can come into your own of being who you are, you really are, and who you are meant to be, right? Because for a lot of us say, man, I want to help my people. I want to help the community. But you can't help the community or help your people if you have not helped yourself. What do you know? What can you... See, this is the thing. What can you tell somebody that they don't know about themselves or about the system? What can you tell them? If you don't know nothing because you don't study self or learn anything that's out your nature, then you have nothing to help your people with. You have nothing to help them with because you don't do anything. You have to do the work. You have to spend time with yourself. Learn yourself. Right? Everybody's purpose is different. Right? Some people's purpose is to teach. Some people's purpose is different, right? But everybody has their own different, thing that they are supposed to do. But in this time, you have to help yourself while you trying to get to the point of where you're trying to get to. You have to help yourself. Whatever that bothers you about someone or what bothers you about yourself, you have to go over it, right? Look over it to see what you can fix and see what you need to take out and fix about yourself. Right? For me, I learned how to develop discipline. Right? Learning how to develop discipline is being able to do things, right, for a certain period of time and then resting from it. Right? Some people think that discipline is doing things every day. Sometimes you're going to have to take breaks from certain things. Because if you do it every so often, if you do it too much, then it could become a problem for you. Right? Like you hear people out here talk about working out every day, like intensive workouts. Yeah, you can work out intensively every day, but after a while, your body's going to need a break. It's going to need to rest. Right? Because by you sweating, you losing a lot of water that's in you. Right? So that's a lot of water being released out the body. After a while, your body's going to become dehydrated and the muscles in the body are not going to be able to work functionally because there's no liquids that's keeping them running. Right? So you need a chance to rest. You need a chance to give your body some healing. Right? So your body can repair itself. Right? Replenish itself so it can be useful for when you use it again. Right? As far as working out. Right? So the discipline is being able to rest yourself, but then being able to go back to doing what you was resting yourself for. That's discipline. Not just doing the same shit every day. Right? It's other aspects of discipline. Right? So for me, I learned that I don't have to do the same shit every day. I can rest myself. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? But being able to rest yourself for a couple of days and then going back to what you used to do, that's discipline. Because you could be like, no, I've rested this long, I don't want to do it no more. But being able to do it, right, while resting, that's discipline. Right? That's discipline. Right? That's someone that's able to do what they have to do. Right? No matter the circumstances. So, you have to build that for yourself. Build discipline. Build a certain status for yourself, so that you won't be a threat to your own self, right? Because you may be doing it too much, or because you may not be doing it enough, right? So you have to build discipline. Whatever you feel like is causing you suffer, right, in danger, what you have to do is learn to fast from it. Learn how to do without it. Right? And then once you learn how to do without it for a certain period of time, this is when you can sit and learn why it was causing you so much suffer and causing you danger. It's when you can learn, okay, this is why I can do better the next time if I feel like doing what I used to do again. This is what I can do then. This is what I can do then. Right? but realizing that it's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of what you used to do, but not getting so attracted to it to where it controls you, right? You know, like everybody say, oh man, smoking weed is bad, or getting you a taste or two, you know, drinking is bad. It's nothing wrong with that. The only bad thing, well, ain't nothing wrong with weed, but the only bad thing about addiction to something is you being addicted to it. A lot of people don't have a lot of mental strength to control themselves on certain substances, right? To where it just controls their everyday life. Some people just don't have the mental control. They just keep having, oh man, I can't let this shit go, right? But the negative self-talk on what you are consuming every day is going to keep you attracted to what you are engaging in, right? But if you, okay, I may have it today, but not tomorrow. I may have it the next day, but not tomorrow. That's keeping you level. That's keeping a balance, right? Because you're not telling yourself, oh, I gotta have it. You telling yourself I can have it when I want it, but I don't have to have it. You see what I'm saying? And this is, you know, when it comes to with people, a lot of people, they get addicted to things because they have allowed themselves to get addicted to it. They didn't build any balance. They just let everything run its course, right? And you have to build a balance. You have to set a standard for yourself so you won't allow things to consume you, but you can consume it, you know. And that be the thing with people, you know. And when you're speaking on self-love and loving self and being able to honor self and study self, it's a lot of things about self that you're going to have to learn about self. When you talk about introverted people and extroverted people, because I talked about this before, but sometimes I have to go over certain things I say to add more into it. An extroverted person is considered to be someone that gains energy and motivation and power from being around people, while an introverted person gains power in solitude, being alone, being in their own space. The difference between the two is one needs to be around people to feel motivated, while the other one doesn't need motivation from anyone. It motivates itself by its own self-realization, right? The thing about it is, people talk bad about introverted people because they think those are people that don't have any social skills or social communication with the outside world, but they have all the communicative skills because they worked on themselves. They learn how to greet people or how to talk to people differently from how they probably used to greet people and talk to people, right? So it's important to do the self-work and be in your own space, because this is when you can learn who you are and learn what you are supposed to be doing in this lifetime, right? Because a lot of people don't know who they are. They don't have a clue. If you told them who they was, they still wouldn't believe you, because they'd think you crazy, right? So certain people, you know, they just can't get it. They just can't get the information. They just don't got it, right? So they have a hard time on this earth because they don't know who they are, and yet they're not trying to do anything to find out who they are, right? So that's why you talk about what they do with the whole monetary system. They use the monetary system to get us from realizing who we are. That's why they give us money. Get you some money, right? Because the more money you have and the more access you have to buying things, You're never gonna wanna find out, man, who am I? Why am I so attracted to this? Why this is a thing I feel like I need all the time, and why I always gotta buy some new clothes? Why I always need this? Right? They don't want you thinking like that, thinking outside of the spectrum, thinking outside of the box. They want you thinking inside of the box. They want your mind being so clogged and so psychologically damaged by what you are doing in this world, right? They want your mind to be so fucked up. They don't want you to think outside of your own misery, right? So anytime you feeling down, or go buy something, that's gonna get your mind off of it. But sometimes that's not gonna get your mind off of it. Sometimes you're gonna need some spiritual healing. And that spiritual healing may be the best decision you ever make in your life. Right? And that may be something that gets you out of your own way. That's why when you hear celebrities like Will Smith, he talked about how when he got to a certain point with himself spiritually on this path, he realized that the money, the fame, everything he had really didn't mean anything. Now, some people would be like, man, that's crazy. You just speaking out your ass. Nigga, you rich. You a billionaire. Right? But not knowing that he's a regular person just like everybody else. He has emotions too. He has trauma as well. What made him get to where he at is probably because he had trauma. And there were certain things that bothered him about his childhood, so he used his fame and his fortune and his riches as a way of fixing his own problems. Right? But they still have control over him because it's something that's a part of him. Right? So we don't never think about what's the making of a person, right? Because of what they have, right? We'll never think what made them into the person they is because of the shit they got. Everybody got a story. Everybody got somewhere or where they came from that was challenging and had them in a humbling situation, right? Everybody has had that, right? So everybody comes from something. Everybody has a story on something. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is pure. Everybody has something. Right? So we all got stories, but it's just the point of being able to notice the story of life that you have and being able to rewrite it, right? And make it something that's an inspiration to yourself and not a curse, right, to yourself. Make it an inspiration. Don't allow it to be a curse or make it a curse. Make it an inspiration. You know, and it's this the thing about self-love and loving self. A lot of us, we hold on to the past. We feel bad for how we are or what we have experienced, but some things we cannot control. Only thing you can do is move on from it and learn to become better today than what you was yesterday. That's the only thing you can do. You can't hold on to what the past is. The past is the past. Only thing that exists now is the present. Only thing that exists. That's the only thing that exists. Right? Because the only reason why you feel bad about what you done did is because you haven't healed from it. Once you heal from it and you accept it for yourself, it ain't gonna have no power over you no more. It's not gonna affect you. You're not gonna care. Because the thing about it is, we scared of what other people may think. Man, I hope they don't figure that out. I hope they don't know what I done did. Right? We worried of what other people gonna think. Rather than realizing it's all about your own acceptance. You have to accept your own shit. It ain't about what other people think. Because there's other people that got skeletons in their closet, just like you got skeletons in your closet. Everybody got skeletons. Those skeletons are certain parts of yourself, right, that you have not identified, right, and that you have not stepped to, right. So they just skeletons, right. They still exist in you, right, but until you realize them and realize what you have done and a certain points you was at in your life, right, they just gonna always have an effect on you. You're always gonna feel some type of way towards the things you used to do. You know. So, you know, you have to go over your life. You have to look at what you do wrong, fix it, and what you do right, and not overthink it. Right? This is the way you come into your own and understanding who you are and what you are meant to be. Purpose comes from discovering self. Because once you know yourself, you know who you are meant to be. You know what you are here to do. You know, and that's the thing about it. You know, because a lot of people, you know, love the victim game, playing the victim. Oh, this happened to me. A lot of things have happened to people, but it's all a part of your story. It's all a part of your path in life. It's happened. It happened to you. But what did you learn from it? Because it's a lesson in every situation. Even the worst situations have a lesson. It's a lesson in all things. You know, it's just up to you and what you learn from it, and the knowledge that you take from it, and wisdom. You know. So yeah, it's quick information on that, because I talked about a little bit of this before. This is silent. Hopefully y'all have a good day today on this Tuesday. I'm gonna have some more information, knowledge pretty soon that I'm gonna drop. And yeah, that being said, it's silent. I'm out. Peace.